So in life, we all experience challenges and hardships, but sometimes that season of our lives seems overwhelming and unmanageable, and we're just looking for a light, something to push us forward and keep us going. So that's why I've decided to do a series on sharing stories, no, changing lives one story at a time. If that's something that interests you, stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you're notified the next time I post a video. So today we're going to focus on the story of grit, perseverance and determination to just keep yourself moving forward. And I'm going to highlight Jason Tatum. If you don't know who he is, he plays for the Boston Celtics. And as I said before, I can actually find inspiration in other people's journeys and not just my own. And that helps me sometimes depending on where I am in my season of life. So for some reason, he's been appearing, probably because I watched it once, on my Facebook page. But I'm going to tell 3 different stories and I'm going to keep them as short as possible. So in the first story, he was about 10 years old, he said, and he and his mother are bringing in groceries. He's at the car, she's at the front door, and all of a sudden he hears the groceries hit the pavement. He runs up to see what's going on with his mother, and he sees the pink notice on the door that they're being evicted. They have 30 days to get out of their house. Like I said, I think he said he's about 10 years old. So his mother, she's probably distraught, and he's 10. He's feeling helpless because she's a single parent. He's her only child, and it's the 2 of them living here. A few days later, his mother didn't ask, but a friend of hers that she went to law school with brought a check over for $10,000 to help them get on their feet. We all need something like that sometimes in our life when we are just feeling hopeless. It may not be a friend with a check. It may be something else. It may be this video, this story that gives you that light to keep moving forward. But we all need something in those low moments, in those valleys, to just show that we just need to keep going one day at a time, one small step at a time. Don't lose yourself in that moment. And sometimes it's more challenging than others. Second story, he's always wanted to be a basketball player from the stories he's telling. He's in school, and you're asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? He says a basketball player. Now, again, he's young. I'm going to say he's still between like 10 or 11. I don't remember the age exactly. But his teacher tells him to pick something more realistic. He said that kind of crushes him because he's already feeling like an outsider in the school that he goes to. So then to share his dream and have someone tell him, yeah, you need to choose something else, and then all the other kids laugh. Depending on how strong you are as a child, that could somewhat squash your dreams and you may not move forward. But luckily for him, his mother kept him lifted up, kept him elevated, kept him focused on what he wanted to be. It's moments like these that you don't allow someone else to downplay your vision and your dream, to shrink you to a place that you're fitting into what they think you should be. We all don't have that strength, and it's a muscle that needs to be nurtured. And especially at that age. Now, some people do. They come here almost, with that determination in them, and they're not going to allow anybody to get in their way. But that's probably, I don't have any statistics, and I'm not acting like I do, but that's probably a minority of people. But it is my belief I don't have to shrink myself or change my vision to accommodate your opinion or your view of me or what you think I should do. So luckily for him at that stage in his life, he didn't have it, but his mother seemed to have it. And she kept him focused on what he wanted to be, to not let somebody else determine that for him. The last story is, I guess when he was growing up, I don't know what age, she would always take a hairbrush, she said, and pretend like she was interviewing him, teaching him how to behave and the things to say when he was interviewed. He told her, you have to say all these good things when you're interviewing me because you're my mother. So she told him, fast forward to now. Now there are other people asking. Other people want to talk to you. So that is the power of your vision and your thoughts. But you have to put action behind them too. So despite those things earlier in his life, he had determination to do what he wanted to do, to keep his eye on the prize. And I don't know what he went on to do through high school and college, but last year the Boston Celtics won a championship, and now he's headed to Paris for the Olympics. But a teacher told him, you need to pick another dream. So again, I'm going to reiterate, don't shrink yourself or change your vision or your dream for yourself because somebody else can't see it for you. You don't need someone else to see your dream. You need to be able to see it. And you need to be able to map out a plan to get there. It's not fairy dust. It's not just going to appear magically. But just because in this moment, you can't see all of the steps to get to your dream, you just only need to see the first one. Because my philosophy now is I'm taking one step. I'm doing something every day that moves me in that direction. Will it be detours? Probably. But you just got to keep pushing through those detours. Now, for me, I was going through a challenging season too, also. And in this over here, it's kind of what changed my mindset. Because now I'm feeling this in July. My circumstances haven't changed that much. My business is still moving a little slower than I would like it to. But in the summer on Etsy, typically certain things slow down. It'll start to pick up again as people stop vacationing. But what's changed in this season is my perception. What's changed is my mindset. What's changed is my choices, the actions I'm taking, the habits that I'm creating. Those are the things that changed. And eventually, my finances, my business, all of that will catch up. But I'm putting in the work now. I'm planting the seeds. And that's what you have to do. Even though in the season, it may not be going the way that you want, keep your eye on the vision and map out, you're here, you want to get there. How do you bridge that gap? And break it into bite-sized pieces. Like I said, when you're in a season that isn't in your favor, it can become overwhelming. And the way to keep that so that you're not overwhelmed and you're not discouraged is to do it in small increments. Figure out what can you do today. And no matter how small it is, what can you do today to move you forward? What can you do today to keep your mindset focused on a growth mindset? That challenges and obstacles are stepping stones. Sometimes you have to fail in order to succeed. If you check out last week's video, I gave 5 stories of humble beginnings for all of those people. But they kept going. They had resilience. They kept moving. Now, in my case, again, I took a challenge at the beginning of the year because I felt like my mindset, I was out of alignment. My mindset was not a growth mindset. I just was not walking to my beat or how I typically live my life. So I chose a word for this challenge, audacious. Be bold, be determined, be courageous. Choose without fear and dream without limits. And I started to incorporate that into my day and then into my week and into my month until my mindset started to shift. I printed it off, hung it on my wall, kept it in a place where I could see it, because sometimes you just need something in front of you. And I'm a visual person, so having that in front of me, even on days I was still feeling somewhat discouraged, I looked at it. Be audacious, be bold, be courageous, be determined. Dream without limits and choose without fear. And those two things, they move me forward. Because sometimes when I tell people my choices, they're like, you're a risk taker. Am I? Maybe. Because sometimes I will step without really, I think it through, but sometimes you just can't keep researching. You can't keep doing this. You got to take action. Sooner or later, if you're going to do it, you got to get started. And in some cases, maybe I step faster than another person might. But I'm walking to my beat, and I have to do things that align with the way I live. Because if I try to walk to your beat, I tell people, I might trip over my own feet because I'm not on my rhythm. I'm on your rhythm. But this right here, it helped change my mindset. When I saw his story, or heard his story, I should say, I was just like, these are stories that I want to share. Because in this series, Changing Lives, one story at a time, it may be something small like that that you need to hear to move yourself forward. Now, this will probably be once a month. I'll post something like that. And I hope that you find encouragement, that you're inspired by it, and that you're motivated by it, whether you're in a valley or not. You may still just be at a place where you're trying to make a decision about something. You're at a fork in the road and you don't really know if you should continue on the path you're on or if you should move on a different path. And then you hear about somebody else's journey. You see choices they made, how you may apply something similar to your life to move you in the direction that's going to keep you on the journey headed towards the life that you've envisioned. I hope this is motivational for you, inspirational, and go into your weekend with a mindset of growth. That obstacles, they are there sometimes to challenge you, but you can't see them as a deterrent. You have to keep moving forward because people fail many times before they get success. But the thing is, get up. Have a good weekend. See you in the next video.